Welcome to our news and thank you for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. The debate on the current status of illegal migrants in the country continuing as the Prime Minister weighs in. In recent weeks, a number of politicians have been making their concerns heard. The Prime Minister admitting today that there is a challenge. Our Megan Shepherd has the story.
As I would have mentioned earlier today in my communication, that the dysfunctional and challenges in other countries are causing a lot of irregular migration. The world is contending with it. We have to contend with it. And yes, we have to find the balance of how we deal with it without impacting the lives of our own citizens.
That is Prime Minister Philip Davis responding to questions regarding the current state of illegal immigration in the country. Just last week, the leader of the Coalition of Independents, Lincoln Bain, was arrested while trying to present to Parliament a document he drafted addressing the same. Member of Parliament for South and Central Abaco, John Pinder III, has been vocal for months as it relates to the ever-growing shanty towns on that northern island. Here's what the Prime Minister said today.
We are going to look at how best to deal with these things in a humane way. And if that's one of the routes, that's an option that's out there.
In 2021, under the Minnis administration, Supreme Court Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson ordered the government to cease and desist demolitions in shantytowns on Abaco and ruled that the government must get approval from the court to continue demolition. The Prime Minister was also asked if his government considered demolishing the new structures not covered under that injunction.
We do have a challenge with immigration, whether I call it a crisis or not. I don't think we're there yet, but there's challenges in that area.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Megan Shepherd.
Thanks, Megan. And some tragic news out of Grand Bahama tonight as a family mourns the death of a young mother killed in a traffic accident. Her young son is also in hospital recovering from injuries in the same accident. The Our News Grand Bahama team was on the scene speaking with police soon after this tragic event unfolded. This is video from the scene of the tragic accident on East Sunrise Highway and Sergeant Major Road. This gives a glimpse into where and possibly how the victim died. As these images made the rounds on social media, the outpouring of love and support flowed. The victim is identified as 25-year-old Talia Sims Wiles, a graduate of St. John's College who relocated to Grand Bahama just a few years ago. When the Our News team arrived on the scene Tuesday night, police had just managed to get the victim's body out of the car, which was trapped by the impact of the vehicle hitting a tree. It was shortly after 5 p.m. when police say they were alerted to the accident. Officer in charge of the Grand Bahama Traffic Division, Inspector Mick Sayers, tells what happened next.
Officers responded and met a gray Dodge vehicle that appeared to have been traveling east on East Sunrise Highway that appeared to have lost control and collided into a tree in the center median.
Now police confirming that a passenger, a small child, was the victim's son.
The child was taken to EMS. He was taken to RMH via EMS personnel.
On Wednesday, police confirmed the 2-year-old passenger remained hospitalized in stable condition. Back at the scene, Inspector says saying speed may have played a role in this tragedy.
Well, we continue to sensitize the motoring public to be mindful, aware of the speed zones during the day and nighttime. We just urge caution, keyword caution, for the motoring public to please be aware of the speed zone.
Well, a 57-year-old Bahamian man was arrested yesterday after being found in possession of over $400,000 in mixed currency. Officers from the Drug Enforcement Unit and Financial Crimes Branch were conducting routine checks in the Cable Beach area when they searched a flatbed truck and found a large amount of cash. Officers then went to the man's Burnett Road home with a search warrant where they found more cash in Bahamian and U.S. currency. Police says the money totaled over $400,000 and is believed to be the proceeds of crime. Well, a cooler evening in the capital tonight after a day of mostly cloudy skies. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with our current conditions. Good evening, Greg.
Thanks. Thanks, Natalia, and welcome everybody for a quick look at weather right now. Partly cloudy skies outside our studios, temperatures at 81 degrees. Your winds are out of the north at 9 miles per hour, and your field strike temperature standing at 84. Satellite view, we have some patchy clouds moving out of that northerly flow across the area, brought us some showers and early, isolated thunderstorms really across the Yaba Coast. Earlier today, that line has since dissipated. We will continue to see some of that moisture still stream towards the south from that northerly flow. So more showers and isolated possible thunderstorms expected. Deep level trough and a disturbance to the east of us will stay to the east of us. Most of that cloud mass will stay out of our neighborhood. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us to look at your tropics, and the extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, a new way to fund growth on the Family Islands and Renewable Energy Fund. The PM details new proposed legislation. Plus, the heart and soul of Junkanoo comes alive through drums. Alive introduces Drumfest when our news returns. While the questions keep coming over who paid for the Prime Minister and a delegation to go to Bermuda after a copy of a $24,000 reimbursement check was posted by the Progressive Liberal Party, there are claims that that is not the full cost. Here's Prime Minister Philip Davis responding to questions about the cost of that trip.
Was the $24,000 the full cost of the trip?
No.
So the remaining cost was that then
Everything will be reckoned. You have to understand that we're talking about the office of the Prime Minister. You're not talking about Brave Davis. You know, Brave Davis could, in fact, Brave Davis could travel where he wishes without the office of the Prime Minister. Right? So that's not an issue.
Davis also telling Parliament the decision to charter a reasonably priced Western Air jet came days before the trip to avoid overnighting in New York on both legs. He traveled in the capacity of Prime Minister accompanied by invited party members. But opposition leader Michael Pintard is calling the trip illegal.
It is a breach of the law. To have a government pay for a political trip and to be reimbursed by a political organization, it is a breach of the law. The question is, will heads roll as a result of it?
Well, Prime Minister Philip Davis tabling the National Investment Fund's Bill 2022. The bill, according to the PM, will allow the country to maximize the country's assets, invest and deploy capital to expand access to additional capital and opportunities. PM Davis explains.
Consider public-private partnerships. If we only finance projects with government revenues or borrowings, fiscal constraints will significantly limit how much and how ambitiously we can build. Partnering with the private sector greatly expands the number and scope of infrastructure projects we can take on, allowing us to move forward on more projects on more islands simultaneously.
Davis says instead of borrowing money for roads, schools, hospitals, airports, and homes, the bill makes a way for partnerships with the private sector on these initiatives. The bill also allows for sub-funds like Growth Fund for Family Islands, a Food Security Fund, and a Renewable Energy Fund.
This bill reorganizes the way the government handles revenue and investment. A landmark step as it takes a comprehensive approach to building and strengthening our country with the independent professional management and transparency expected from internationally recognized good governance.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
When our news comes back from the break, celebrating drums and the music that keeps Junkanoo alive. New details about the upcoming Drumfest.
Plus, coming up in sports for tonight, the UB Mingos dropping a 2-game set in South Florida. They're back home now. We'll also tell you all about DeAndre Ayton and the Phoenix Suns as they take down the defending champs. That's all coming up in sports.
Plus, we're over the midweek hump. Your extended weather forecast is straight ahead on the other side of the break. This is our news. Welcome back now to a check on sports. The Lady Mingos volleyball team back from their trip to Florida. We'll tell you how they did. Meanwhile, DeAndre Ayton and the Suns take down the defending champs in NBA action. Here's Marcellus Hall.
All right, thanks, Natalia. Welcome to our sports, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. The UB Mingos left town over the weekend to South Florida, where they were hoping to play pretty well in a 2-game set against the university there. Turns out things did not go quite as planned, at least not in terms of wins and losses, but they did feel pretty good about their performance. Let's take a look.
University of the Bahamas women's volleyball team dropping both matches against Atlantis University over the weekend in South Florida. The team lost the first Friday match, 25-10, 25-5, and 25-7. Second game, they performed much better, but still lost in straight sets there, 25-13, 25-21, and 25-10. This weekend's tour was the team's first set of games in more than 3 years. Many on the team are true freshmen as well. Head coach Raymond Wilson saying he saw the significant improvement of the team over the 2 games.
They hustled much better than the previous game. They showed much more of their potential and their ability to play this game at a higher level. So I give them about a little above average on their productivity. And I can see only better things.
Meanwhile, coming in from the NBA, DeAndre Ayton and his Phoenix Suns, they were in action last night, taking on the defending champions, the Golden State Warriors. Good game through 3 quarters, and then Suns decide to take control. Klay Thompson thrown out. Suns taking charge. They go on to win 134-105 ends up being the final. DeAndre, pretty solid performance for the young man. 25 minutes on the floor, 16 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal on the night. Phoenix now continues their trek through the Western Conference as the season just underway. They're 3-1 so far on the air. Their next game, in case you're wondering, comes your way on Friday when they take on the New Orleans Pelicans.
And there it is, your Look at Sports for you here on this Hump Day Wednesday. I'm Marcellus Hall. Back to you, Italia.
Thanks so much, Marcellus. Well, it is time to heat up your Junkanoo drums for the first Drumfest. Come December, Junkanoo returns to Bay Street with Alive as the title sponsor of both parades. They are also introducing some new pre-parade activities. Drumfest comes our way next month. Now, earlier this evening, the order of entry took place. Our Jamila Mizik is live at the Harbor Bay Alive store to get us caught up. Jamila.
That's right. I'm here at the Alive Harbor Bay store where just moments ago we wrapped up the number picking order of entry for the Alive Drumfest. Now, if you don't know, Alive Drumfest is the very first Alive Drumfest, and 7A groups will be participating. Now, we have those numbers for you in this clip.
Roots number 1. Second, the Valley Boys. Third, One Family. 4, the Saxon Superstars. 5 will be the Prodigal Sons. 6, Music Makers. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. Genesis!
Of course, we already had the youth parade. You know, we gave you all a little test of something that could have happened. And then after that, now we have the Drumfest. So Drumfest is just a little seasoning to what we are bringing to Play Street. So look out, man. There's Genesis, Warhawks for life.
I think the competition will be fierce. We have not had parades in 2 years. The Shell Saxon Superstars have been the reigning trump for the past 2 years, and so everyone is ready to come and compete for that title. And so it's going to be very exciting. I think you're going to hear some nice music out there, some new rhythms, some new drum beats, and it's going to be a wonderful time. So I encourage all persons, everyone, come out. There's nothing to do on the calendar. November 12th, be there.
Well, there you have it, Alive Drumfest. The very first Alive Drumfest will take place on November 12th, and they hope to see you there. Reporting live from Alive Harbor Bay store, I'm Jamila Mizik. Italia, back to you.
Plus, Greg Thompson is back in the Weather Center with your extended outlook. Stay with us. Welcome back to our news. Partly sunny skies ahead this week. Greg is back in the Weather Center with your extended forecast. Greg?
Thanks again, Natalia, and welcome back, everybody. Of course, we have a month left, about a month left in the official Atlantic hurricane season, and we are watching 2 systems out there right now. Broad area of low-pressure system expected to form in the southeastern Caribbean and track towards the west. National Hurricane Center giving that a low to medium chance for formation. Won't be until Thursday, Friday time frame before this actually gets its act together, and then on the weekend we expect things to get a little more conducive for some formation of the system out there. A lot of showers and thunderstorms associated with that system. We'll show that in our satellite view. The second area that we're watching, one to the east of the Bahamas, upper level trough is trying to get its act together and starting to build down towards the surface. A low pressure system is starting to form out there. National Hurricane Center also giving this one a low to medium chance, so we'll continue to watch this one. It's going to track towards the north, so it should stay away from us and provide us with some cloudiness and some showers across the southeast Bahamas. This is how things are looking right now. As I mentioned, upper level low spinning with a surface low attached to that. With this system, we expect that to track towards the north, and a tropical wave will be moving underneath that. And that's the other system we expect to form and move into the Western Caribbean by the end of the week and into early next week. Locally around our area, though, we have a high pressure ridge in charge. We also have a weak front that's actually dropping across Florida. Should park itself across central Florida, so we could see 1 or 2 isolated showers by the end of the week. But this front is expected to wash out, and high pressure will rebuild across our area once again for the weekend. So we're looking at some very nice weather conditions for the next several days. Boating forecast for the northwest and central Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. Your winds will be out of the north to northeast at 10 to 15 knot seas, running 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Those winds will fall light and variable at times. Your high tide will be at 9:13 tonight. For the southeast Bahamas, variable winds at 10 knots or less. Your seas will be running 1 to 3 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In your extended forecast, with that wraparound moisture, low-level moisture moving across us, we could see a couple of patchy showers, isolated showers throughout the next day or 2. But once again, that frontal boundary stalling to the north of Bahamas should wash out, and we're looking for some very nice conditions throughout the remainder of the weekend into early next week. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.